In the previous lessons, we have seen some commands for navigating in the file system of Linux, like print working directory, which shows the current working directory. We have seen the command ls, which gives a list of the current working directory, or ls with an argument, which gives the list of the given directory. We have seen the command cd to change the directory to change the current directory to another one. We have seen the commands make directory to create a new directory. The command cp copy to copy a file from one location to another. We have seen the command mv or move, which is used either to rename a file or a directory or to move it to another location with the same name or with a different name. And we have seen also the command ln, which stands for link and creates a hard link, but with the option S, it creates a symbolic link. And we have seen also the command rm, which is a shortcut for remove. Remove removes a file or a directory. Actually, to remove a directory, it needs the option -r, which means recursive. And with the option -r, it is going to remove all the content of the subdirectories first, and then remove the directory itself. There is also another command, which is called rm remove directory, but it requires the directory to be empty. So first we have to make the directory empty, and then we can use this command remove directory to remove the directory. Today we will see some commands about commands. One of these commands is type, and the command type shows us the type of a command. If you remember, we also have seen the command file, which shows us the type of a given file, or a directory. For example, let's say file public. Public is the directory. Now, this command type is similar to that one, but it is used for commands. For example, type ls. ls is alias to ls color auto. Let's say type print working directory. Print working directory is a shell built-in. Let's say, for example, type cp. cp is user bin cp. Let's say, for example, type rm. rm is hashed user bin rm. Or, for example, type cd. cd is a shell built-in. So we can notice that the commands that we type at the shell prompt are either a shell built-in. Some of them are a shell built-in, and most of them actually are executable programs. So there is this program in this path /user/bin/cp, and when we type the command cp, the shell actually starts or executes this program. And let's check, for example, ls user bin cp. So this is an executable program, or we can Control-A, Control-D, Control-D, file. It is an executable program. So the command that we type here is either an external command or a shell built-in. External commands can be either executable or bash scripting, etc. And there are also aliases. For example, when we type ls, it said that ls is alias to ls color auto. We will see aliases a little bit later today. Let's say, for example, type. So what type is the command type? So we are asking for the command type itself. Type is a shell built-in. A shell built-in means that it is executed by the shell itself, by the bash in this case, because bash is the shell that we are using currently. So when we give the command type, the bash command itself interprets this command. Okay. Now, another useful command is which, and which ls. So it is telling us that when we type the command ls, the program that will be executed is actually this one, /user/bin/ls, because there can be other programs that are named ls. There can be, for example, bin ls, or there can be a program, for example, user local bin ls. So the name of this command of this program is ls, but actually when we type ls in the prompt, the shell is going to execute this command, and this is what is telling us which command is being executed if we type the command ls. And actually, there is an environment variable which has a list of directories. So this is a directory. It is separated by a semicolon by this other directory, and then another separating semicolon, and then another directory, and then another semicolon, and then another directory. So this is a column separated list of directories in this variable. And when we type the command ls or some other command, for example, cp, etc., the bash is actually looking in this list. Do we have a command ls in this directory? No. It is going to check the other directory. Do we have a program named ls in this directory? No. And then it is going to check this directory. Do we have a program named ls in this directory? No. And then it is checking this one. And here it finds the program ls. And so it is going to execute this one. Maybe there is another command, another program named ls in this directory, but this is the first one that is found, so it will execute the first one that it finds. So sorry. So this is what the command which does. It tells us which program will be executed if we type the command ls. Let's try, for example, which cd. In this case, it does not give us a result. Why? Because cd is not an external command, it is a shell built-in. For example, we saw before type cd. cd is a shell built-in. So it is a command inside the shell itself. It is not a program that is located in some directory. So which cd gives an empty result. That's why it gives an empty result. Another Another command that we can use to get some information about the commands is help. For example, help cd. It is giving us a page of information about the command cd. Or help make directory. Now it says that there is no help topic which match make directory. Why? It is because the command help gives help only about shell built-ins. So for the built-in commands, it gives some help information. Make directory is not a shell built-in. Let's check it. Type make dir. So it is this program here that is being executed. It is not a shell built-in. How do we get some help about this command? Usually, we give the option ---- help, and this gives us a short page of help information about this command. And sometimes it is possible to use the short option as well, but I don't know in this case. It does not recognize this -h short option, only with the long option ---- help. Some commands recognize both of them. Some other commands recognize only the short option h. So we have to try both of them. Another command that gives some information about Linux commands, about bash commands, is the command man, and it is a shortcut for manual page. So it is showing us the manual page of a command. For example, man ls shows us the manual page of the command ls. And the manual page has several sections. This is the name ls and short description, list directory contents. And then synopsis tells us how this command is used. So the name of the command, and then some options, and then some files. And then in the description, we have a long description of this command, what it does, and then we have a list of the options that it recognizes. It recognizes and what does each option. For example, -a, comma, -- all. Both of these options do the same thing. Do not ignore entries starting with dot. And so we see that most of the commands have both a short option and a long option. So most of the options have both a short version and a long version. Some options have only a long version. And I'm pressing the arrow down to move. And maybe there are some other options that have only the short version. For example, this one, this option has only a short version. It does not have a long one. So I'm moving down with arrow down. It is possible to press also the space bar. With space bar, we move page by page. And then to exit from this program, we type Q, quit. So if I press Q, I exit from the manual page. Now, manual pages are organized into different sections, where section 1, for example, is about user commands, and section 5 is about file formats. So if I type, for example, man password, by default, it is searching on section 1 of manual pages, and so it will give us some information about the command with this name, man password. And it says this command change user password. It can be used like this, command name, options, and then login name, description, etc. Press Q to exit or to quit from the manual page. Now, if I try the same command, but I give the option -5, not -5, just 5, man 5 password. Now, the command man is taking 2 arguments. The first argument is the section where it is going to search for manual pages, and then the name of the manual page. So it is going to show the manual page named password in section 5. But section 5 is about file formats. So actually, it is going to give some help. So here we see the password and then the section. It is the manual page of section 5. And so it is giving some information about the configuration file etc password, the format of this configuration file. So it is something else. So man password and man5 password are different manual pages, show information about different things. This is about the command password. This is about the configuration file etc password. Another command which is similar to man is the command info. It again shows information about a certain command, but in a different format from man. For example, info core utils. It gives some information about GNU core utils, and this information is presented in a hyperlinked format. What does it mean, hyperlink format? It means that where we see these stars, these are links to other pages. For example, if I am at this line, the cursor is at this line, and I press enter, I go to the page that is linked to this link. And I read this page. To go back, I think L. I press L to go back. Then I go to another hyperlink, press enter, read this one, maybe go to another hyperlink, press enter again, read it, and then press L to go back, L to go back. And again, to quit, we press Q. So press Q to quit. The command apropos makes a search at the manual pages for a given word. For example, I am searching for password. Nothing appropriate. Maybe there is something wrong with this command. But another way to search is with man k. So we are searching manual pages for password, for example. Oh, there is something wrong with this. Probably there is something wrong. Another command that gives a short description is like what is. For example, what is ls? Maybe there is something missing. Probably some kind of index or database is not generated. Anyway, let's check the command alias. So we mentioned alias before. Alias creates a shortcut to a long command. And if we use alias without an argument, then it just prints a list of existing aliases. So we have these aliases right now. What does it mean? This means that when I type ls, what is executed is actually ls color auto. If I type LA, for example, what is actually executed is ls minus a. For example, let's try it. LA, it is actually the command ls with this option minus a. What does it mean, this option minus a? Or ls help. Let's try this ls. So minus a actually means almost all. Do not list implied dot and dot dot. So if I type LA, actually it is the same as typing ls minus a. And it is showing the files that start with dot, because usually these are hidden files. If I type just ls, the files that start with a dot or directories that start with a dot are not displayed. But if I type ls minus a, it shows also the hidden files, but it does not show the dot and dot dot directories. If I type ls minus a, this means all. This means all that, and then it will show these two directories, dot and dot dot, and the ones that start with a dot, the files and directories that start with a dot. So the difference between ls minus a and ls minus a is that this one does not show these two directories. Alias again. This is a list of aliases. Now, what is alias? Type alias. Alias is actually a shell built-in. So it is a command that is implemented, or it is provided by the shell itself, not by an external program. And how can we create a new alias? Let's say, for example, that I'm typing a long command, for example, cd /user, and then semicolon. After a semicolon, I can type another command in the same line. And then ls, semicolon. After semicolon, again, another command, and then cd minus. So this cd is moving us to the directory /user, and then we make a listing of this directory, and then we go back to the directory where we came from. So I'm giving these three commands. Now, if I use this often, then I can create an alias for executing these commands or this long command. And the alias is, of course, shorter and more handy, more useful. How can I create it? Alias. I am naming it foo. It can be anything, any name. And then here inside the quotation marks, I type the command. ls cd minus. Now let's check the list of aliases. In the list of aliases, we see this new alias now that we have defined. Now, what happens if I type foo? If I type foo, it is the same as executing these commands that we saw before. So it gives the same result. So just typing foo is easier than typing this long command. And let's see what is the type of foo, for example. The type of foo is an alias to this command. It can be a very long command, but just for an example, this is enough. And how can we remove an alias? We can remove an alias with an alias foo. And let's check the list of aliases. Now it is not in the list. I don't see it. And if we check the type of foo, now it says that foo is not found. So it is not an alias anymore. Now we move to another topic, which is the command history. So we are giving the commands one by one to the shell, and actually the shell is storing them in a list. So it is keeping a list of the commands that we are using. And we can see the list of these commands by typing the command history. So the command history actually shows us list of the commands that we have been using in the system. Type of history. It is a shell built-in, so it is a command that is provided by the shell itself. And because the list is very long, we can combine it with the command less, which shows the input of the previous command page by page. So this is the first page, and then I press space, 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 or I can move also with arrows up and down. And if I press Q, it will exit from the command less. And I can combine the command history with the command tail, for example. And tail is listing the last 10 files of the previous. So the history is giving some output, and with this pipe, we are sending it to the command tail, which is showing the last 10 lines of this output, or the last 10 commands. And actually, the last one is the command history pipe tail itself. So the last command is inserted immediately in the list. And the command tail can also have an argument of the number of lines. So this is the number of lines that the tail is going to show. By default, it shows just 10 lines, the last 10 lines, but we can also show more lines with the option -n and the number of lines. Or we can combine the command history with grep. And grep usually is searching for a word in history. So we will search for the word man in the list that is provided by the command history. And it is filtering all the lines, and it is showing only the lines that contain man, contain this word man. And how does the Linux or the Bash store the list of commands? First of all, it is stored in the memory, but when we exit from the shell, the list of commands that is stored in memory is appended to a file, so that the next time that we log in, we can get the history of the previous sessions as well. And the name of this file is the name of the file where the list of commands is stored is .bash_history. So it is this file .bash history in the home directory. So this tilde is used for the home directory. So it is the file .bash history in the home directory. So this is the file where the list of commands is stored, and the name of the file itself actually is in a shell variable that is called hist file. So because this variable hist file has this file name, this is where the history is stored. But we can change this variable, as we will see later, but we don't need to do it, at least not right now. Now let us check the content of this file. Let us check the content of this file with, for example, with tail. And this is giving us the last 10 lines that are stored in this file. But we see that these lines are different from the ones that are given by this command, history. Okay. So the last commands that we are using right now are not stored in this file. They are not stored yet. Why? Because they are first stored in the memory, in the RAM of the server, and when we exit from the shell, at this moment where we exit from the account, at this moment they are appended to the file .bash history. Actually, we can tell the command history. We can tell the bash to append right now the list of all the commands with the command history append. So this option -a stands for append. And what it does is that the list of commands that is stored in the RAM, in the memory, is appended to the file .bash history. So if we check the last 10 lines of this file right now, we will see that now they are the last commands that, so it is updated. So this file is updated with all the commands that we have been using in this bash session since we logged in until now. And we can execute a previous command. We can execute a previous command from the history by typing the number of the command. For example, if I want to execute this command, to execute it again, then I can type this exclamation point and then the number 294, for example. And then it is showing the command that is being executed, type history, and then this is the output of the command. History is the shell built in. Or if I want to execute, for example, this one, tail.bash history, then I can type, and it will execute again the previous command with number 301. We can also use this form, exclamation point and ls, which means execute the last command that starts with ls. So the last command that starts with ls actually is this one in the history. or we can do this one, which means the last command that contains password. So the difference is that the command starts with ls, and if we append this exclamation point and question mark, then the last command that starts with that contains this word, and so the last command that contains this word is this one, man -k password. And we can check, for example, history, get password. So this is the list of all the commands that contain password, and the last one was this one. Right now, the last one is this command that we just executed. But at that time, the last this was the last command. And of course, we have also seen previously that we can recall a previous command by arrows, up arrow and down arrow. So if I type the up arrow, it gives me the previous commands from the list. And if I type the down arrow, I go to the bottom of the list. For example, let's say that I want to execute this command echo history. So I press the arrow and then go to the command, and then I can also modify the command and then press enter to execute it. However, the most useful way to rerun a previous command is to search interactively with keyboard shortcuts. And this is done by pressing Control and R. R is search in reverse. So I press Control and R. So I press Control R, and then it will start searching. So Control R. Now I'm typing some. Typing some letters. For example, I typed the letters that I've typed are highlighted, and it is searching for a command for the last command that contains the letters that I'm typing. And if I want to search for the command before this one that contains these letters, then I type Control R again. So Control R, it gives the other command that contains these letters. If I type Control R again, Control R, and now I can move and modify this command. For example, I can change the section, and then press Enter, and it will execute the previous command. Now I exit with Q. Let's see also some keyboard tricks that make easier the command line typing commands. And we have seen the arrows. We can move with arrow up and down to select a previous command. And now, after we have a command, then I can press Control A. Control A goes to the beginning of the line, and if I press Control E, it goes to the end. I can also move with arrows, arrow left, but pressing Control E and Control A is much faster. And after I can also I can also use Control K to delete the rest of the command from the cursor. So if the cursor is here at the middle of the command, if I press Control K, it will delete up to the end of the line. And if I press Control Y, Y is for young, so it is Control Y. Young means paste, so it will paste the thing that I copied or deleted with the command Control K. For example, Control K, Control Y. If I want to paste it, and if I go, for example, to the beginning, Control A, I can press Control D to delete the command, and Control C to interrupt it, because I can, for example, press Control U to delete from the beginning of the line up to the cursor. For example, Control U, delete from the beginning of the line up to the cursor. Control Y, paste it back. And Control C. And another trick is to use the tab key to complete a command that we are typing. For example, if I type the command echo etc and star, I see the list of files in the directory etc that starts with an n. So it is etc nanorc, etc netconfig, etc netcan. All of them start with n. Now suppose that I want to show the content of one of these files with the command cut etc. I press n and then I press tab. Now I press tab. It gives nothing because it does not have a single completion. I press tab a second time. So after pressing tab for a second time, it shows me a list of options. So all the files that start with n. And now if I press, if I type some other letters and then press type again, for example, I press E and then press tab. Again, it does not have a single completion. I press tab a second time. It shows me all the files that start with N and E. For example, I press T, press tab again. Let's say that I type W, press tab. Now it is completed. But again, there are several files. Now, if I type S and press tab, it completes it, and it will complete the command. Or let's try again. For example, cut etc NA and then press tab. Now, because there is only one possible completion, only one file that starts with NA, when I press tab, it immediately completes the name of the file. And now I can just press enter. Now we will start talking a little bit about permissions of files and directories in Linux. First of all, Linux and Unix are multi-user. Okay, Anton, go on. Anton, did you want to say something?
I wrote it in the chat. I don't remember where I can find the list of Control A, Control O, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a list. There is a list in the lectures, but it is not complete. Let me show you the list. No, I have to open another tab here.
No hurry.
So in Linux, in this page we have Linux commands. We are at lesson 2, and this is keyboard tricks, the fourth section. And I have a list here. It is not complete. There are other keyboard tricks as well, but these are some of the keyboard shortcuts that I mentioned. For example, Control A, move cursor to the beginning of the line. Let me make this bigger. Control E, move cursor to the end of the line. Alt F, move cursor forward one word. I did not mention all of these because actually I don't use all of them. Usually I use this one, Control A, sometimes Control E. I use this one frequently, Control K, cut or kill text from the cursor location to the end of the line. I use this one as well. Control D if I want to delete. So I press Control A and then Control D, Control D, Control D to delete the current command and then type another command. Sometimes it is more convenient to use Alt D, cut text from the cursor location to the end of the current word. So this control, I have to press several times Control D to delete the command and then type another one. With Alt D, it will delete the command, the first word of the command immediately, and then I can start typing another one. So, and of course, I use this tab completion frequently. It is very, very useful. I find it very useful. And also about the command history, I find it very useful. This Control R. So if I want to remember a command, if it is not very distant, for example, I can press up arrow once or twice or 3 times, then I use the up arrow. But if it was 5 or 10 commands before, then I use this Control R and then type a few words from the previous command, and then maybe Control R again to find the right command, and then modify it and then enter. So I find this very useful as well. And this is the first section, commands about commands, that we did today. So actually, this is what we do today. Some commands about commands, command history, and keyboard tricks. And the next lesson is about next lesson is about ownership and permissions, adding user accounts, example with permissions and processes. We don't have enough time to start this today. We will start it on Tuesday. And this lesson actually is yes, but let me make a quick introduction of this lesson. So Unix, same as Unix, each user has its own home directory where he can store his files and directories or his data. And in order to protect the files of users from each other, the Linux has ownership and permissions. So a file that is created by one user belongs to this user. The user that creates the file is the owner of the file. And files and directories have some permissions, which are the permission to read the file, the permission to edit or to modify the file, or to delete it, because modification means also deletion. When you delete a file, it is considered modification. And the permission to execute a file. So read, write, and execute. There are three basic permissions. Now, one file can have these permissions. Let me type here. So it is read, write, and they are denoted like this: read, write, and execute permissions. A file or a directory can have these permissions for the owner. So the owner maybe have read, write, but not execute for a file. So it is not an executable file. But one user can give other users permissions as well. So it is my file, but I give permissions to another user to read this file, or I give a permission to read and write the file, or maybe to read and write and execute. So the file belongs to me. I have my own permissions, but there is another set of permissions, read, write, and execute for other users. And to facilitate and to make easy the management of these permissions for other users, in the Linux system, there are groups as well. So a group is a group of users. And if I give some permissions to a group, then these permissions are applied to all the users in this group. So, and besides the owner of the file itself, himself, and the group, there are also some permissions for others. But let's talk in more detail in the next lesson about this. Okay, Anton says thanks. Lesson 2, Linux commands and Dart scripting, part 4. Great. Okay, so unless you have some question, then we can stop here for today, and then continue on tomorrow. Actually, we have a consultation tomorrow at 7:30. Okay, see you tomorrow then. Bye.